Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive into a high-level overview of what has to be one of the most uniquely captivating resumes ever put to paper. We're looking at the professional CV of Mohammed Alattas. Now, as someone who absolutely loves breaking down complex information, I've seen a lot of source documents in my time. But I'll tell you right now, it is incredibly rare to find one that bridges the gap between everyday administrative tasks and literal world building.
To truly grasp the scope of this document, we're going to use an overview funnel approach today. We'll start with a visionary overview, move down to the corporate foundation, check out how he's a jack of all trades, explore his role as architect of a civilization, and finally end up at funding the dream. Let's get right into it.
All right, starting at the top of our funnel with Section 1, a visionary overview.
So, right at the top of his resume, Mohammed immediately breaks all the standard rules. Instead of giving us a boring, cookie-cutter objective statement, he leads with this massive, overarching mission positioned right underneath his name and contact info. Looking for the best interest of everybody. It brilliantly sets the stage, doesn't it? It tells you right off the bat that you aren't just looking at a professional whose ambitions are limited to clocking in for a standard 9 to 5, you're looking at someone with a deeply global, genuinely altruistic mindset.
In his summary section, he mentions he's a professional with expertise in business, HR, logistics, public security, and AI. But then, he states that his work spans global planning, religious education, life-guiding music, and a curriculum. I mean, wow! He is literally known for leading initiatives that advance justice, simplify life, and foster economic growth. The sheer astonishing breadth of his self-professed expertise is just incredible.
Moving down the funnel, we have Section 2, the corporate foundation.
To really appreciate that grand vision we just talked about, we need to look at his actual, grounded, operational foundation. Starting his corporate history in 2009 as a team supervisor for Forever Living Products Middle East, he moved steadily through roles as an administrative assistant and then an HR personnel officer at Scamco in 2013 where he handled payroll. By 2014, he's a logistics coordinator at a BMW Group importer, and in 2017, a logistics officer at Otis Elevator Company. It's a very standard, steady progression through traditional HR and logistics roles.
And the crucial point here is the absolute duality of his professional identity. On one hand, we have his standard corporate tasks, stuff we all know, like overseeing import lists and using Excel for data management during his time at the BMW importer. But on the other hand, we have his civilization-level claims from his achievement section, like structuring a new global economic plan. The contrast between entering data in a spreadsheet and completely redesigning the global economy is just fascinating.
Which brings us to Section 3, Jack of all trades.
His wildly diverse skills span both that standard administration we just saw and some seriously futuristic technology. We go rapidly from logistics and time management straight into no-code programming, AI for web and app, and even 3D design. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, he also holds official government freelance licenses issued by the Saudi Ministry of Human Resources in both sales management and public relations administration. The guy truly covers all his bases.
And when you look at his education section, it proves this relentless commitment to continuous learning across completely different disciplines. In 2009, he gets a certificate in Microsoft Office. Then in 2022, it's Operational Computer Numerical Control, or CNC machining. And looking ahead to 2025, he's taking elements of AI for business from the University of Helsinki. As he delightfully notes in his own words, he is pursuing to study all kind of field actually. You really have to admire that kind of boundless curiosity.
All right, now for the big one. Section 4, Architect of a Civilization.
Here, our overview completely shifts away from a normal career path and into something entirely different, his entrepreneurial ventures. Since September 2019, Mohammed lists his role as an entrepreneur for the Alattas organization and other, and the stated achievement there is massive. He writes that he built the Alattas Global Civilization Infrastructure. This is an entire platform containing governance, health, social life, and the economy, all built using AI Coder. He is literally claiming civilization building as a professional resume bullet point.
The numbers in his achievement section are just as astounding. 5. That is the number of creative scripts he states he has written. And the titles are fantastic. They include Amerleon's Story, The Leader and Whale of World Bank, and Funny Reality.
40, or rather 40 plus. This showcases the sheer volume of innovations he claims in his errata book. He boldly states that these are more than 40 innovative ideas that will absolutely change the world for the better.
160. I really want to emphasize the sheer quantity here, folks.
He claims to have produced an album featuring over 160 educational art songs. That's not just a few tracks. That's a massive, sprawling catalog of over 160 songs for a single album.
Let's quickly summarize the rest of his grandiose structural achievements. He built a full global civilization system, he made a civilization curriculum, he structured an organization for civil rights and public security, and he authored The Advice, which he notes is a summary of religion. He very firmly positions himself as an architect of humanity itself, building systems for justice and the ease of living for everybody.
And finally, we reach the bottom of our funnel. Section 5, Funding the Dream.
We are stepping out of the clouds of global civilization now and dropping right back down to immediate, relatable reality. Under his experience section, right after explaining how he built a global civilization infrastructure using AI, he includes this incredibly candid admission. I can't pay the bills as there's no income, so I need a job. The poignant reality of it is striking, isn't it? You can be building a global civilization platform for humanity, but at the end of the day, you still need a standard paycheck to keep the lights on.
But he brilliantly frames this immediate need for an income in his opening summary. He writes that he is seeking part-time employment specifically to fund my project and needed expenses while preserving my long-term mission. It's not just a job to him. It's venture capital to sustain his world-changing long-term goals. Every single hour clocked in logistics or HR is just an hour funding the betterment of everybody.
We've seen quite an incredible overview of this document today, so I leave you with this final, provocative thought. With a resume that seamlessly spans from standard Excel data entry and payroll all the way to structuring a global civilization and writing 160 art songs, does this duality make him the ultimate unconventional hire? Will you be the one to hire him? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.